Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a good minute since I've done any projects for my IS300 or my IS250, but today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be working on this Y38 differential right here. I got this about 3 years ago, meaning to put it into my IS250. I just haven't gotten around to it, so today we're going to actually prep this thing and kind of get it all ready to put it in the car, so stay tuned. So if you guys didn't know, the Y38 differential here comes out of the BRZ, the FRS, and the Toyota 86. And it's a direct bolt-on for the IS300 or the IS250. Unfortunately, the IS350 doesn't work on there, or the ISF, because they have different rear subframes and different rear differentials. So for these other cars, they're direct bolt-on. Everything lines up, the axles and everything all plug into here off the cars. So all you have to do, I think, for the IS300 or the first gen IS300 is to make sure you get the tapered bolts. The main reason why people get this differential is because it's a limited slip and it's easy and cheap to find. Pretty much you can look at this up on eBay and on any junkyard on carpart.com, and you could source one of these for around $250 to $300 plus shipping. It might be even less. I got this pretty much on a deal, but I also got it 3 years ago before anybody really knew about it. So I'll go ahead and link to some eBay auctions and some eBay sellers down in the description if you guys are looking for the same differential for your project. So as you can see, I got this thing. It wasn't that great a condition. As you can see, it has some surface corrosion on it, but it's not really that bad. Most of it is all surface related, and I can actually just clean it all off with a wire brush and then just brush on some of this right here, this rust removal gel, just to kind of dissolve it all and clean it up. And I'm actually going to coat it all black again with this chassis saver black kind of paint, epoxy type stuff here all over it, just to get it all black again. As far as the aluminum goes, that just needs a little bit of a buffing and shine up with one of these wire brushes, and that should clean it all up. As you can see, the junkyard that took this out, or the car itself that they removed it from, must have been sitting on the ground, because you got all this dirt right here and then the surface corrosion on this side. As you can see right here, we flipped it over, and this is like the top side of the differential. The corrosion and the surface rust and everything is not as bad on this side. Just right here where the kind of the water and moisture sit when the car is actually on the ground or being used, that's where some corrosion builds up. But overall, it's not that bad on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this up with a brush, kind of prep it all and get it ready for paint anyways. The one other thing that this happened to this thing right here was this thing got bent up when they shipped it. It looks like they dropped it on the ground or something and it bent that. So I actually have a replacement right here. This was like a $5 or $6 part, but I wanted it nice, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to replace that thing. Hopefully the threads aren't messed up. They look pretty beat, so I'm hoping that I can bend this back and turn it open. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and replace all the seals on here. So I've got the 2 side seals right here that I'm gonna change out. These are just OEM ones. You can see the part number right there. I got these from Japan, so that's the part number for the OEM version of this. In addition, the input seal or the output seal right here on this end, I got a replacement right here, and again, that's the part number for that replacement. The replacement of this seal is going to be a little bit more difficult because you actually have to shoot this off with an impact. This nut right here, remove that part just to access it, and then you can put it on, clean it all up. But as far as cleaning that up, I need to take that apart just to clean all this corrosion and paint that area anyway, so it won't be that much more work than I'm already doing. Also, just for shits and giggles and just to know what the inside of this thing looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and take apart all these bolts and actually remove all this orange form in place gasket here and replace that all and reseal it up, just to be safe with that, since I'm doing all the seals anyways. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and just keep on brushing it with that wire brush right here, just to get as much of the surface corrosion off as I can. Anything left over, I'm going to brush on this gel right here to see how much of it removes. Wipe that all clean and see how well the surface looks, and we can just get that ready for paint. we'll make sure we scuff this all up to make sure that we get a nice surface. So before I start painting it, I'm gonna go ahead and clean off this thing with some acetone and alcohol. Make sure the surface is nice and clean before I brush that black on to make sure it all stays. I was able to paint this thing by just lifting it up. It actually sits by itself right there, but dang, look at all that gloss. Check it out. But yeah, this thing is pretty much finished. I was able to just paint everything underneath, all the nooks and crannies. Tomorrow, once it dries, I'll flip it over to see if I missed any spots and touch those up. But overall, this thing turned out awesome for that paint right there that I used. Is basically this chassis saver stuff that I saw online that a lot of people use for like engine blocks and other stuff on your actual chassis itself, but it's gonna dry like a satin black and it's gonna look pretty good once it's done. But overall, I'm happy with it. I'll go ahead and call it for this video. Join me on the next video where we actually change out the seals on the sides and here, and then just clean up any of the other areas that we missed. But overall, pretty happy with this. I'm also going to be taking off the differential cover just to see what's inside, clean that up, and replace that seal on the next one too. So go ahead and join me on that. Hey guys, thanks for joining me all the way to the end of this video on cleaning up this differential I got and making sure it's all nice and clean and everything before we start this project and get all the seals replaced on it. If you guys found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet to stay on top of all my different DIY videos, go ahead and subscribe to your channel, turn on bell notifications to get notified every time I upload. For all these different projects, whether it's on the IS300, the IS250, the Sienna, or on the house or the garage, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.